Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Coin of World in God We Trust Liberty 1963. Full 1963. Lincoln Cent History Script. Straightforward and long for a 2-hour video. The 1963 Lincoln Cent, also known as the Lincoln Penny, is one of the most collected and recognized coins in American history. Its origins go back to the year 1909 when the United States Mint first introduced the Lincoln Cent to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It marked the first time in American history that a real person was featured on a circulating coin. Up to that point, the designs of U.S. coins had typically featured allegorical figures like Lady Liberty. The decision to place Abraham Lincoln on the coin was inspired by public admiration and the idea that Lincoln had become a symbol of unity, liberty, and sacrifice. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original Lincoln Cent featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side with the words "In God We Trust" written above his head, the word "Liberty" to the left, and the date of mintage on the right side. The reverse of the coin originally displayed 2 wheat stalks, hence it was popularly called the wheat penny or wheat cent. This design remained in place from 1909 to 1958 and was later replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, which was created to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1963, the Lincoln Memorial design had become familiar to the American public. The coin retained the profile of Lincoln on the obverse, but the reverse now featured the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparro. This reverse design included the words "United States of America" across the top, 1 cent at the bottom, and the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum" between the top of the memorial and the country name. If you look closely at the reverse side of the coin through a magnifying glass, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, which was a groundbreaking detail for coin design at that time. The 1963 Lincoln Cent was struck at 2 mints: the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins with no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which used the D mint mark beneath the date. These coins were made primarily of a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition had been standard since 1864, except for a brief change during World War II in 1943 when steel cents were made due to copper shortages. The weight of the coin was approximately 31 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters and a plain edge. In 1963, the political and economic atmosphere in the United States influenced coin production. The country was experiencing both the tensions of the Cold War and domestic changes related to civil rights, economic growth, and technological advancement. These factors contributed to the mint producing coins in large numbers. The mintage of the 1963 Lincoln Cent in Philadelphia reached over 750 million, while the Denver Mint produced over 1.7 billion coins. Among the most notable collectible varieties from 1963 are the double die errors. These occur when the coin is struck from a die that has a misalignment, causing certain design elements, especially the date and lettering, to appear doubled. Such coins are highly sought after by collectors and can command much higher prices than standard issues. Another point of interest is the condition of the coin cents that have been preserved in mint state, especially those with high grades such as MS65 or higher are far more valuable than those that have been circulated. The grading of the Lincoln cent is done by professional services such as PCGS and NGC. These services examine coins for luster, strike, wear, and contact. Mark's mint state coins are those that show no signs of circulation, and grading can significantly influence the market value of a coin. For instance, a 1963 Lincoln cent graded MS67 Road, which means red in color and nearly flawless, can be worth hundreds of dollars or more depending on market demand. Color is also a critical factor in Lincoln cent collecting. Pennies are typically categorized by their color, which changes based on how the copper reacts to air. Red coins are newer and shinier. Brown coins are older and duller, while red-brown coins are in between. Collecting Lincoln cents like the 1963 issue is often done by assembling a full date and mint mark set from 1909 to present. Many collectors aim to build albums that include every year and mint variation, including key dates like the 1909 SVDB and the 1914 D coins. The 1963 cent is not a key date, but it is an essential part of any complete set due to its massive production. The coin is affordable and widely available, making it a good starting point for beginner collectors while also being important for advanced numismatists who seek high-grade examples or unique varieties. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone many changes in composition and design. For example, in 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from the bronze alloy to a copper-plated zinc composition in order to reduce production costs. However, the 1963 cent is still made of the traditional bronze alloy, which makes it more desirable to collectors who prefer the older composition because it has a different feel, weight, and sound. The coin has also been an object of historical storytelling. Its circulation over generations represents everyday transactions, small purchases, and the value of a single cent across time. Educational institutions often use coins like the 1963 penny to teach students about history, economics, and metallurgy. It's not just a coin but a tiny time capsule that links the past to the present. The coin's inscriptions, like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "E Pluribus Unum," each carry deep philosophical and cultural meaning. They reflect the values that the country wanted to project during the time of minting the inclusion. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Coin of World. Today we are going to explore the complete story and numismatic journey of the 2 annas coin from India, dated 1946. During the reign of King George VI, King Emperor. To our video script. The 2 annas coin of 1946 from British India is a significant piece of history minted during the final years of British colonial rule before India's independence. This coin was part of the complex monetary system of the Indian subcontinent under the British Empire, and its production tells us about the economic, administrative, and political dimensions of colonial governance. The denomination anna itself had a long-standing usage in the Indian monetary system, with 16 annas making up 1 Indian rupee, and the 2 annas coin therefore was 1/8 of a rupee. During that time, it was considered valuable enough to be commonly used in markets For daily transactions and trade, especially in rural and urban middle class households where change in smaller denominations was essential. The obverse of the 1946 2 Anna's coin carries the portrait of King George VI. Facing left, the inscription reads George VI King, Emperor, highlighting his dual role as the monarch of the United Kingdom and the colonial sovereign of India. The image of the king is surrounded by a beaded border, giving the coin a regal and official appearance. The reverse of the coin displays the value in English as 2 annas and in Hindi as 2 anna, as well as in Urdu. The design is circular and symmetrical with a crown at the top showcasing the British monarchy's authority. The minting date 1946 is located at the bottom center, and the coin also features the mint mark to indicate its origin, whether it was Calcutta, Bombay, or Lahore mints. These mints played a crucial role in coin production throughout British India's final decades. The coin was struck in nickel brass, a common material used in the mid-20th century to ensure durability and cost efficiency. Nickel brass coins are known for their corrosion resistance and bright yellowish hue, which made them stand out in everyday circulation. The 2 annas coin weighs around 2.5 grams and has a diameter of about 19 millimeters. It was milled with a reeded edge to prevent counterfeiting and add a layer of security. The metallurgical properties of these coins are a testimony to the British colonial approach to practical economic management through efficient minting systems. The historical background of the 1946 coin is rooted in the larger political developments of British India. This was the period immediately following the end of World War II, a time when Britain was economically weakened and there was immense pressure for Indian independence. The Royal Indian Navy revolt had just occurred. In 1946, protests and unrest were growing across major Indian cities, and the British administration was preparing for a major political transition, the issuance of coins with King George. The 2 annas coin was produced in large quantities because small denominations were widely used in everyday commerce, and the coin was especially prevalent in rural economies where access to paper currency was limited and coins were the primary medium of exchange. Local bazaars, street vendors, small shopkeepers and public transportation systems frequently dealt with such coins, which played a crucial part in the financial ecosystem of colonial India. The coin's presence in markets and homes across the subcontinent gave it both economic and cultural value. It is also important to understand the role of the 2 annas coin in the broader numismatic evolution of India. Coin collectors and historians view the 1946 coin as part of the last series of British Indian coinage, and its historical importance is enhanced by its proximity to the date of Indian independence. Numismatists categorize it among pre-independence issues and often pair it with post-independence coins to compare design, metal weight, and political symbolism. Over time, the coin's transition from circulation to collector item highlights how currency serves not only economic purposes but also national memory and identity. The 1946 2 annas coin was part of the final standardization efforts in British Indian coinage during George VI's rule. Previous designs under George V and Edward VII had varied styles and mints, but by 1946 the British had achieved consistency in design, minting standards and production volumes. The coin was struck with British imperial precision, and its widespread use across India meant it was familiar to millions. It was not just a piece of metal but a trusted measure of value, a tool of empire, and a silent witness to history. The broader context of the 2 annas coin also includes the economic structure of colonial India. British policies had created a centralized economy where revenue collection, currency regulation, and market control were conducted through coinage. Such coins were backed by the Indian Currency Act and regulated by the Reserve Bank of India, which had been established in 1935. The RBI was still under British control in 1946, and the coins were issued under its jurisdiction. The colonial economy depended heavily on agriculture, trade, railways, and taxation, and coins like the 2 annas played a vital role in all of these sectors. Even after independence, many of these coins remained in circulation, especially in rural areas where older coinage took time to be withdrawn. They continued to be used in daily purchases for several years until the Government of India introduced new decimal coinage. In the 1950s, the historical legacy of the coin. After independence, many of these coins remained in circulation, especially in rural areas where older coinage took time to be withdrawn. They continued to be used in daily purchases for several years until the Government of India introduced new decimal coinage. In the 1950s, the historical legacy of the coin, however, continued, and it became a subject of study and admiration among coin collectors, antique dealers, and history enthusiasts. Today, a well-preserved 2 annas coin from 1946 can fetch notable value depending on mint location, condition, and demand. In collector circles, the Calcutta mint coins may be more common, while Lahore and Bombay mint coins in higher grades are often more valuable. In terms of design, the 2 annas coin of 1946 is remembered for its clean, sharp inscriptions and symmetrical artwork that reflect British aesthetic standards of the time. The coin does not feature Indian symbolism but instead emphasizes colonial power through the king's image, the crown, and English inscriptions. This lack of Indian identity on the coin also became symbolic of the absence of self-governance, which made post-independence coinage reforms deeply symbolic, and patriotic coins after 1947 began to feature Indian leaders' languages and cultural motifs, replacing imperial themes with national imagery. The minting technology used for this coin also shows the advanced stage of industrial and metallurgical processes in British India. By 1946, coin presses operated under British engineers with Indian workers trained to maintain high standards. The coin blanks were manufactured with tight specifications, and the final products were quality controlled with precision. Such efficiency in coin production was part of the reason for the reliability of British Indian currency across its colonies and within the global trade network. Additionally, the year 1946 was a turning point, not just in politics but also in public sentiment against colonial rule, and this sentiment was sometimes reflected through defaced coins or public resistance to imperial symbols, though such acts were rare with coins. Most people still use them regularly as money, but the emotional. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Coin of World. Today we are going to explore the Singapore 1978 10-cent coin. Full detailed history, straightforward script for 2-hour video. The Singapore 1978 10-cent coin holds a significant place in the history of the Republic of Singapore as part of the second series of circulation coins issued by the Board of Commissioners of Currency. Singapore. It reflects not only the island nation's growth but also its transformation into a thriving global economy following its independence from British colonial rule and separation from Malaysia in 1965. Singapore needed a stable and trustworthy monetary system, so in 1967, the first series of coins was issued, followed by a refined second series in the 1970s to meet growing economic needs and to reflect national identity more clearly. The 10-cent coin from 1978 belongs to this second series, and its design is deeply rooted in Singapore's maritime and cultural heritage. The coin is made from copper-nickel, a durable and corrosion-resistant alloy that allows coins to stay in circulation for decades even in tropical climates. This material was chosen to ensure a long-lasting currency that could withstand daily handling. The diameter of the 1978 10-cent coin is approximately 18 millimeters and its weight is around 2.83 grams, making it smaller and lighter compared to higher denominations, yet still crafted to convey quality and national symbolism. The obverse of the coin features the national coat of arms of Singapore, which includes a lion and a tiger supporting a central shield. The lion represents Singapore itself, often referred to as the Lion City, while the tiger symbolizes the historical connection with Malaysia. Beneath the shield is a banner inscribed with the national motto, Majula Singapura, meaning onward Singapore. This motto represents the country's aspirations for progress and unity. The name of the issuing authority, which is the Board of Commissioners of Currency Singapore, appears along the edges of the coin in English as well as in Chinese, Tamil and Malay, showcasing Singapore's multilingual and multicultural foundation, which has always been an integral part of its identity. The reverse of the coin shows a beautifully detailed image of a sea fan coral. This design was selected as part of a series that featured marine and floral life native to Singapore and surrounding waters, emphasizing the importance of biodiversity and natural heritage in a nation that was rapidly industrializing. The sea fan is not only a symbol of natural beauty but also of the interconnectedness of life in Singapore's coastal ecosystem. The design was created by Christopher Ironside, a renowned British coin designer who was commissioned to design several coins for Commonwealth countries including Singapore. His work is known for combining classical artistry with modern national identity. Each detail on the coral was carefully etched to capture its elegance and complex branching structure, making Singapore's choice to feature marine life on its currency in the 1970s was aligned with global trends of celebrating environmental awareness and national flora and fauna. During this period, many newly independent nations were seeking to define their identity through currency design, and Singapore was no exception. The 1978 10-cent coin remained in circulation for several decades and became part of daily Life used in hawker centers, buses, local markets and corner shops. It helped tell the story of a nation where tradition meets modernity and where efficiency and discipline are matched by respect for culture and nature. Economically, the 10-cent coin played a practical role in the transition of Singapore from a low-income port city into a global financial hub in the 1970s under the leadership of Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. Singapore invested in infrastructure, education, and technology. Trade increased and foreign investment soared, and coins, like the 10-cent, were handled daily by workers, shopkeepers, children, and tourists alike. The widespread usage of coins also encouraged the population to save and to understand the value of money as the government promoted financial literacy as part of national development. The coin's production in 1978 came at a time when the Singapore Mint had become more advanced, incorporating modern minting technology that allowed for precision and high-quality striking. By 1978, the coin's production was carried out with improved quality controls and automated techniques which ensured that the 10-cent coins were consistent in weight, design, and finish. Although minted in large quantities, these coins were carefully managed to maintain currency stability and to prevent inflation. Over the years, the 1978 10-cent coin became a collectible item among numismatists because of its historical value and clean artistic design. Collectors appreciate its condition, mint mark, and place within the broader context of Southeast Asian currency evolution. The demand for these coins increased as Singapore became more prominent on the world stage, especially after hosting international events and expanding its global influence. Coins like this 10-cent are now featured in museums, educational displays, and international coin fairs where they represent the excellence of Singapore's minting history and national identity. In terms of coin grading, collectors often look for uncirculated or proof versions of the 1978 10-cent coin which exhibit full details of the coral and coat of arms without wear or scratches. Such high-grade examples are often stored in protective cases and can fetch higher prices in auctions compared to circulated versions which were commonly used and may show signs of aging or tarnish. Even circulated coins, however, hold sentimental and educational value, especially for older generations who recall using them in daily transactions during the formative years of Singapore's nation building. The presence of multiple languages